Let's continue our discussion on the connecting or the Luo points. And for today, we'll discuss lung 7. Okay. Lung 7 is located on the radial aspect of the forearm, directly above the styloid process of the radius, approximately 1.5 tune proximal to the wrist joint space or the wrist crease in a V-shaped groove. So how to find this point? We place the palpating forefinger on the anatomical snuff box, which is Li5. And then from there, glide proximally over the styloid process of the radius and locate lung 7, where the finger can palpate a cleft between the two tendons, the brachioradialis and the adductor pollicis longus. Or we use the tiger mouth grip as shown in the figure at the left. We spread the thumb and forefinger on both hands, crossing them so that the forefinger of one hand comes to rest on the styloid process of the other, but avoiding bending the wrists. Lung 7 is located directly below the tip of the forefinger in a V-shaped groove. To needle lung 7, we lift the skin above the styloid process by pinching it. And then we insert the needle 0.5 to 1 tune obliquely and proximally in reducing or distally in tonifying. We observe caution in needling this point to avoid hitting the cephalic vein. For its actions and indications, lung 7 supports the occiput and the head, releases the exterior, expels wind, descends the lung qi. It opens and regulates the renmai, regulates the water passages, and opens the channel in the Luo-Connecting channel and alleviates pain. As for its special features, lung 7 is the Luo-Connecting point of the lung channel. It's the opening point of the renmai, the Madanyang heavenly star point, the Gaowu command point of the occiput, and the exit point. Lung 7 is an extremely important point. It is a major point to release the exterior in invasions of exterior wind cold or wind heat. This point contributes to the elimination of pathogenic factors by stimulating the descending and diffusing of lung qi, thus releasing the lung defensive qi portion and stimulating sweating. The lungs control the space between the skin and the muscle where the defensive qi circulates and spread fluids all over the skin. The use of this point with reducing method will stimulate the circulation of the defensive qi and open the pores to cause sweating. Here is an illustration of the areas affected by lung 7. First, we have the Towley space, the nose, the face and head, the shoulder, the throat, bladder, large intestine, and finally shen and pore. Lung 7 is therefore used in the beginning stages of the common cold or influenza, with sneezing, stiff neck, headache, aversion to cold, fever, and a floating pulse. In treating exterior invasions of wind cold or wind heat, it is often combined with Li4 as they both release the exterior. This combination is called guest host, as the connecting channel of the lungs, which is the guest, joins with the large intestine channel, which is the host. Because of the lungs' connection with the nose, lung 7 is used to treat sneezing, nasal obstruction, runny nose, and loss of the sense of smell. In all these cases, it would be combined with Li20. As this promotes the diffusing of lung qi and opens the nose, it is also an important point in the treatment of allergic rhinitis. Far from being used only in exterior patterns, lung 7 has a very wide-ranging energetic action in interior patterns too. It is the best point on the lung channel to stimulate the descending of lung qi, and it is therefore a very important point to use in all types of cough or asthma, whether acute or chronic. Lung 7 is also one of the best points to affect the face and head and can be used in combination with other points to direct the effect of the treatment of face and head. Because of this, it is very frequently used in headaches. Lung 7 is a very important point from the psychological and emotional point of view and can be used in emotional problems caused by worry, grief, or sadness. Lung 7 is particularly indicated in cases which the person bears his or her problems in silence and keeps them inside. Lung 7 tends to stimulate a beneficial outpouring of repressed emotions. Weeping is the sound associated with the lungs according to the 5 elements, and those who have been suppressing their emotions may burst out crying when this point is used or shortly after. Tendency to crying is listed as a prominent indication for lung 7 in the explanation of the acupuncture points. The lungs are the residence of the corporeal soul, and this point will release the emotional tensions of the corporeal soul, manifesting on a physical level with tense shoulders, shallow breathing, and a feeling of oppression in the chest. These symptoms are often due to excessive worrying over a long period of time, preventing the free breathing of the corporeal soul and constraining the lung energy. Lung 7 will calm the mind, settle the corporeal soul, open the chest, and release tension. Being the connecting point, it is very useful and effective in channel problems of the large intestine and lung channels. It is often used as a distal point for painful obstruction syndrome of the shoulder if the problem is along the large intestine channel. In these cases, lung 7 is often used on the opposite side to where the problem is. As lung 7 opens the directing vessel or the renmi, some of its indications are for problems following labor and problems of the external genitalia. Its effect in promoting the expulsion of Lieque or a dead fetus is also related to its action of stimulating the descending qi. However, as indicated in chapter 52, to open extraordinary vessel, both the opening and coupled points, which is lung 7 and kidney 6, are used. In conjunction with kidney 6, it opens the directing vessel, stimulates the descending of lung qi, and the kidney function of receiving qi. Because of this, it is beneficial in chronic asthma from lung and kidney deficiency. The combination of lung 7 and kidney 6 nourishes yin, regulates the uterus and the menstrual function, benefits the throat, and moistens the eyes. It is excellent for a dry and sore throat deriving from yin deficiency. The lungs are indirectly related to the bladder and control the water passages. Lung 7 is the main point on the lung channel to affect the lung function of opening the water passages. It therefore can be used in edema of the face or urinary retention in excess patterns when an exterior pathogenic factor obstructs the descending of lung qi. This results in lung qi being unable to open the water passages and connect with the bladder. In this case, it is needled with reducing method. Lung 7 is also effective in urinary retention of the empty type when deficient lung qi fails to descend and communicate with the bladder. This gives rise to urinary retention of the deficiency type and is particularly common in the elderly. In this case, it is settled with reinforcing method. Interestingly, promote the descending lung qi. It may also promote ascending of clear qi to the heart and head. For this reason, it is used for poor memory, palpitations, propensity to inappropriate laughter, crying, and frequent yawning due to failure of the clear to rise to the heart, and so that the mind and corneal suffer. The explanation of the acupuncture points specifically says, in forgetfulness due to insufficient rising of qi, reinforce lung 7 to promote the ascending of qi. Lung qi also communicates with the large intestine, and it provides the qi necessary for the act of defecation. When lung qi is weak, it may fail to communicate with the large intestine and constipation ensues. This constipation is of the deficient type and is common in old people. It is characterized by difficulty in passing stools or passing them with great strain and feeling exhausted afterwards. In these cases, lung 7 will tonify lung qi and help it to reach the large intestine to give it strength for the act of defecation. The combinations lung 7 and stomach 40 are used frequently, often on opposite sides. For example, lung 7 on the left and stomach 40 on the right, or vice versa. This combination can resolve phlegm from the lungs, as both this point affects the chest, and lung 7 regulates the water passages and resolves phlegm by making qi descend, while stomach 40 opens the chest and resolves phlegm in general. These combinations is simply used to open the chest when there is stagnation of qi from emotional stress. So to summarize, lung qi releases the exterior to expel exterior wind. It is also used in sneezing in allergic rhinitis, affects the head for headache. It treats the effects of worry, sadness, and grief. Lung 7 affects menstruation. It is used with kidney 6. It also affects the bladder and opens water passages in cases of urinary retention. It may make qi rise to the head to treat sadness and poor memory. And finally, it affects the large intestine and defecation in constipation in the elderly. So that's all for now. Thank you for listening.